I'd like to welcome my next guest. He is a Toledo native, a Tiffin University graduate, a two-time Super Bowl champion, and current Tennessee Titans wide receiver Nate Washington. Nate, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Which Super Bowl was sweeter, Super Bowl 40 or 43?
43 was definitely sweeter. I think it's for the most part because I had a lot more influence in the game, in the road to get there.
Now, you worked with Hines Ward. He just recently signed a contract that is going to probably keep him a Steeler for the rest of his career. What do you think about that? And also, what did you learn from Hines that you can take on to Tennessee?
Well, first of all, I think it's good for Hines. Hines is a good, hard-working player. He's one of those type of guys that is going to give his all, and it shows in his blocking, it shows in his ability to make plays when they're needed. And I think the major thing that I've learned from him is patience, not to rush your game, let your game come to you. And no matter what's going on, there's always somewhere you can make up for the things that you're lacking in. He wasn't one of the fastest guys, but his route running was stellar. He knew how to get open, and he did a great job catching the ball, So anytime, I think that the thing that I'm trying to bring here to Tennessee, these guys, is we are going to have to bring something different to the table. There's going to be one guy that's going to be faster than others. There's going to be one guy that's hands is going to be better than others. There's going to be one guy that has neither but can just get open all the time, So we just have to play off of each other, and it can't. With Hines, it never was a one-person show. He did a good job of not being in the midst of him being a superstar. He didn't want to be the superstar like that. He knew we all had something to bring to the table and to help each other out.
Do you hope to model your career almost after Hines Ward? Because he started off, the first 4 or 5 years as kind of an unknown, and then it took him, he finally got his chance. Do you hope to have that kind of career?
I think here in this league, the past couple of years I've been here, I think, I've realized that everybody has their own role. Whether it's your first year in the league, you're the superstar, or the seventh year, you're the superstar, I think we all have our own role and different paths of getting there. It's just a matter of how you accept what you have. I look at Hines definitely as a great influence in my career. And in all honesty, I don't know if it's possible to have a career the same way as he had his. But in the same breath, he's definitely one of those type of guys that's had a great influence on my career, and he did a good job of leading me down the right path.
Who were some of the other teams that were checking you out for the free agency this year? And me being a Steelers fan, did you consider taking a pay cut to stay in Pittsburgh?
Well, actually, I don't know the situation at Pittsburgh. In all honesty, I heard nothing from Pittsburgh. I don't know the situation with them, but I heard from the Detroit Lions, and I heard from a lot of the teams, but I would have loved to have stayed in Pittsburgh. It was a very homey type of city. I felt very at home. Those people there were good to me. The fans, they have one of the best fan bases in the world in any sport, and it's so good to be there. But in all honesty, I think it was maybe time to branch off on my own, have a career of my own. So I don't know the way things would have went, but at the end of the day, it wasn't the money that made me leave. It was just the opportunity to become, one of the great receivers ever played the game.
Yeah, I was going to say that was my opinion of it. Being a Steelers fan, I really hated to see you go. I thought you contributed a lot to the team. You were a great player. But at the same time, as a football fan, I like to see you get your opportunity to be a greater receiver and to possibly be a number one and be the go-to guy.
Right, definitely. That's the major thing that I was looking for, my opportunity to come out and establish myself as a go-to guy. So that's hopefully where I can establish here in Tennessee.
Now, I followed you since you were undrafted and signed by the Steelers, and I've noticed you do a lot of charity work. Now, how does that come up with the team? Does that come up through the organizations, or do you approach them, or how exactly does that happen?
Well, some of the things come up through the team, and some of the things are personal things. Some of the things, players have a tendency to go out and want to get their hands in because they experience some things that can deal with those fields, or they know someone that has something to do with that. But a lot of things, some of the time they do come from the organization and suggestions from the organization that we should have, So it's kind of a little bit of both.
What have the last 5 years of your life been like, going from Tiffin University, undrafted, being signed by the Steelers, 2 Super Bowls, now you got a nice contract, and you have the chance to be the number one receiver in Tennessee?
It's been a long one. It's been a long road. It's been a lot of stress. It's been a lot of times where you not think you're going to make it, but you just the attitude and the family that I've had behind me, they've been pushing me through and helping me out and keeping me sane to know that I can do this. It's been a long road, but we all can't be first-round picks. We all can't have that limelight coming out of high school to be the top NCAA player, top NCAA player coming out. We all have our different roles, and it's just a matter of how you accept it. So I've accepted it, and no matter if it happens tomorrow or 3 years from now, I'm going to work to be one of the best, and that's where I want to be.
So far in your young career, you played under soon-to-be Hall of Fame coach Bill Cowher, an up-and-coming coach, and Mike Tomlin, and now an established veteran head coach who's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, Jeff Fisher. What are some of the things that they have taught you, and also how hard is it for you to actually pick up a new system?
Well, I think the most part, the main thing that they've all instilled in me is to have confidence in myself. They've all seen something in me that obviously no one else has seen. Coach Cowher, him being the guy that gave me my first shot, he told me from the jump, you have great potential to be one of the best that ever played this game. You just have to believe in yourself. And then, with Coach Tomlin, he used to tell me all the time, Nate, you got to stop being happy to be just in the league. You have great potential. And when I met with Coach Fisher for the first time before I even signed, he said, my first priority in this free agency is to come get you because I understand and I see some things in you that somebody else might not see. So I think they have instilled confidence in me. They have instilled in me that, yes, I did play at Tiffin University, but I can be no different from the next guy, that's coming in from the bigger school or the next guy that's going into the Hall of Fame. I just have to work to get to where I'm going to want to be and not accept anything less. And now that I'm to that point, I've taken everything in that they told me, and it feels good. It feels good to be working out as hard as I am. It feels good to have some of the younger guys look to me for advice, and it feels good to be able to go out and do the things that I've been able to do for years and play relaxed and play my type of game. So I appreciate all those guys. All three of them have had a great influence in my life, let alone my football career. And I'm just trying to take little things that they taught me in the past and put them all together, and hopefully I can be one of the greats.
What does that do for your confidence, having two Hall of Fame coaches, before you sign with the Steelers, and then having Jeff Fisher tell you that we want you, we know you can be a special player? What does that do for your confidence?
It feels good. It allows me to be the person and the player that I am, without playing on pins and needles. I don't worry about making mistakes. I don't about the little things that are going to come along with the game. I understand those things are going to happen now, and being in that type of situation, to have a coach always patching your back when you're good and you're bad, it makes you play harder. It makes you play, it makes you expect more out of yourself, to perform for those guys that have great confidence in you. I don't want to let those guys down. And in the midst of that, it's giving me confidence enough to believe in the things that they're telling me. I believe now that I can be one of the greats. I believe that I can have a great impact on my career. So it's been making me work harder, and I've been believing in myself a lot more.
What was the first thing that you bought with your nice new contract from Tennessee?
I went and bought a car.
What kind of car?
Yeah, I bought a Maserati.
I guess my last question for you is, I'm from Tiffin, so this has been on my mind since you agreed to do the interview. Have you ever tried AJ's Pizza?
AJ's Pizza. I think I have.
From Tiffin, I'm telling if
when I was in school.
If you tried it, you would know. That's the best pizza that I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. I've tried stuff up here in Toledo, and it just does not compare to AJ's Pizza in Tiffin.
Well, I might have to check it out next time.
Yeah, next time you're in, man, check it out.
All right, sounds good.
All right, well, thank you, Nate, and good luck with the off season and the upcoming season.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks. Take care.